Today, April 5th, might just prove to be one of the most pivotal days of your entire year. I know that sounds like a bold statement, perhaps even dramatic, but I genuinely believe in its profound importance. On April 5th, a rare celestial event is unfolding in the sky. The Sun, in fiery Aries, and expansive Jupiter, in nurturing Cancer, are poised to form a challenging aspect known as a square, a precise 90-degree angle. This configuration generates immense tension between two incredibly potent cosmic forces. But here's what truly distinguishes this from the myriad of other planetary aspects we witness throughout the year. Both of these planets are operating at their absolute peak strength. They are both residing in what astrologers term their exaltation. This means they're not just strong, they're practically shouting their intentions, their energies amplified to an extraordinary degree. If you've been experiencing a strange, almost palpable pressure building within you over the last few days, a sense that something monumental is on the verge of happening, yet you can't quite pinpoint what it is, there's a very real reason for that feeling. You are already immersed in this powerful, transformative energy field. And I promise you, that intuition, that inner stirring, is not your imagination. However, here's the crucial understanding I need to impart. This isn't affecting everyone uniformly. There are 3 specific zodiac signs that are standing directly within the intense crosshairs of this cosmic pressure cooker. And if you identify as an Aries, Cancer, or Libra, then today is presenting you with a singular, high-stakes opportunity, a chance that will not reappear for a very, very long time. If you found yourself agonizing, torn between the impulse to play it safe and the compelling urge to take a massive, life-altering leap, then please stay with me on this journey. There's a very specific astrological blueprint behind that internal conflict, and I'm going to meticulously break down exactly what this formidable energy is demanding from you. Today isn't merely another calendar day, it is, unequivocally, a cosmic pressure cooker. So here's a fundamental truth about squares in astrology that most people tend to overlook. They are neither gentle nor subtle. A square is, quite literally, a cosmic roadblock. It signifies 2 planets, each with entirely distinct agendas, colliding with equivalent, unyielding force. And the only viable path to resolve that powerful internal pressure is through decisive action. Immediate, and often profoundly uncomfortable action. Today's potent square pits the Sun, which represents your core identity, your inherent willpower, and your conscious ego, against Jupiter, the magnificent planet of expansion, boundless optimism, and untethered faith. Individually, these are already monumental archetypal forces, but what elevates April 5th to such an intense level is that the Sun is in Aries, where it is exalted, and Jupiter is in Cancer, where it, too, is exalted. Consider the concept of exaltation in this way. If a planet in its home sign is akin to a king confidently ruling his own castle, then a planet in exaltation is like an honored guest who has been bestowed with total freedom to act without any of the usual earthly restraints. Its visibility, its honor, its sudden elevation in status are all magnified. And when 2 such exalted planets square each other, they don't simply whisper their intentions. They emphatically collide, creating an undeniable impact. The Sun in Aries, in its exalted state, yearns to charge forward, to initiate, to assert its independence at virtually any cost. It's characterized by speed, impulsiveness, and an almost supernatural level of innate confidence. Meanwhile, Jupiter in Cancer, also exalted, desires to expand the sanctity of home, to protect and to nurture. Yet, in its excess, it can also bring a certain overabundance or even complacency. When these 2 powerful, exalted forces converge at such a hard angle, the resulting dynamic is what astrologers refer to as a crisis of optimism. You'll feel incredibly strong, remarkably confident, and that surge of self-assurance might compel you to take a leap that, at first glance, appears to completely disregard practical limitations. Does that resonate deeply with you? I've been experiencing this sensation myself, a mounting feeling that something simply has to give, that remaining stagnant is no longer a viable option. And honestly, I believe that's precisely the point of this transit. This isn't about mere recklessness. It's a calculated risk that the universe is strategically placing before you. Now, am I suggesting that you should completely abandon all caution and make a massive life decision based purely on a whim? No, not exactly. But here's what I am unequivocally saying. There are two other critical transits unfolding on April 5th that completely transform the context of this moment. These are not just random aspects. They are the foundational scaffolding that makes this potentially risky leap not only possible, but strategically sound. First, early in the morning, specifically at 7:05 a.m., several hours before the Sun, Jupiter square even reaches its exact peak, Venus in grounded Taurus forms a beautiful sextile to the North Node. Venus, in Taurus, is incredibly strong and stable. It is deeply rooted in sensuality, value, and unwavering security. And the North Node? That represents your destiny point, your karmic trajectory, the very path your soul is intrinsically meant to walk. This early morning alignment acts like the universe, gently whispering to your subconscious. Your foundational values are secure. You have implicit permission to take this risk. It instills a quiet, yet undeniable sense that you are aligned with something far greater than yourself. Without this Venusian anchor, the leap would indeed be pure recklessness. But with it, the leap transforms into a calculated, destiny-driven move. Then, barely an hour after the Sun-Jupiter square reaches its exact peak at 6:02 p.m., the Moon transitions from intense Scorpio and bursts into adventurous Sagittarius at 7:03 p.m. And this is the trigger. This is the precise moment when the emotional floodgates truly open. The Moon, as we know, dictates our immediate emotional reactions and our intuitive responses. And Sagittarius, magnificently ruled by Jupiter, embodies the archetype of the explorer, the optimistic gambler, the philosopher shooting an arrow into the great unknown. When the Moon ignites Sagittarius just after this intense square, it's as if the universe is directly instructing you, stop hesitating, stop protecting yourself, leap. That's precisely why the evening of April 5th is going to feel so incredibly charged. The emotional temperature will dramatically shift from cautious investigation to an exhilarating blind faith. And, honestly, that's when you'll truly know. That's when you'll feel it deep within your body. This is the moment. However, as I mentioned, this energy isn't impacting everyone in the same way. 3 specific signs are squarely in its crosshairs. So, while this cosmic weather is certainly affecting all of us to some degree, there are 3 particular zodiac signs that are positioned directly in this powerful line of fire. If you are an Aries, Cancer, or Libra, or if your moon sign or rising sign falls into any of these categories, this transit is speaking directly and profoundly to you. And what it's conveying is this: you have one singular shot at something that possesses the potential to redefine your entire life's trajectory. Allow me to break down exactly what this looks like for each of you. If you're an Aries, this is your undeniable moment to stop asking for permission. Aries, you are undoubtedly feeling this intense energy more acutely than anyone else right now. The Sun is currently transiting your first house, your house of self, identity, physical body, and profound personal presence. You are experiencing a supernatural influx of vitality and undeniable charisma. People are noticing you, Aries. You are radiating an almost aggressive confidence, and deep down you're feeling this potent, almost urgent, desire to redefine yourself, to launch something massive that is entirely centered on your own desires and ambitions. But here's where the friction arises. Jupiter is positioned in your fourth house, which governs your home, your family, and your fundamental roots. And Jupiter in Cancer has made that domestic sphere incredibly comfortable, perhaps even too comfortable. There's an undeniable abundance there. There's deep emotional security. Perhaps you've been leaning on family support or ancestral wealth or the comforting approval of people who have always served as your safety net. And that's the profound tension you're feeling right now, isn't it? A powerful part of you wants to sprint forward into total, unbridled autonomy. Yet, another part of you is utterly terrified of disrupting the harmony of your established foundation, of losing that cherished safety net, or of alienating the very people who have consistently supported you. Here's my interpretation of what's truly unfolding. The universe is unequivocally offering you the profound opportunity to bet entirely, without reservation, on yourself. It's a call to stop filtering your ambitions through the restrictive lens of what your family thinks, or what's expected of you, or what merely keeps the peace at home. This moment is all about sovereign identity. This is about unequivocally claiming your life as your own, built on your terms. The risky leap for you, Aries, is severing a deeply ingrained cord of comfort. If you've been patiently waiting to launch that solo business, to make that bold move across the country, or to step into a leadership role that directly defies family expectations, April 5th is your day. The energy is profoundly there. The confidence is undeniably there. And that beautiful Venus North Node alignment in the morning is reaffirming that your core values are secure. You truly no longer need their permission. But I want to be completely honest with you. The risk is just as real. You might indeed alienate your long-standing safety net. You might disrupt the comfortable domestic peace. But the reward, Aries, total self-actualization, a life meticulously built entirely on your own terms. And honestly, isn't that precisely what you've been waiting for all along? If you're a Cancer, it's time to boldly step into the spotlight you've been instinctively avoiding. Cancer. This transit is ushering in something you likely didn't ask for, perhaps even actively shunned: intense visibility. Jupiter is currently in your first house, making you incredibly magnetic, overtly optimistic, and profoundly connected to your deep intuitive powers. This is a rare, once-in-12-year transit, signifying that you are undeniably in the midst of a personal renaissance, whether you fully realize it or not. But the Sun in Aries is intensely illuminating your 10th house, your house of career, your lasting legacy, your public reputation, and your inherent authority. And that, dear Cancer, is the core of the problem, isn't it? Because you don't naturally crave the spotlight. You inherently prefer the security and sanctuary of the private sphere. You are the quintessential nurturer, the steadfast supporter, the one who tirelessly works behind the scenes. However, right now, the universe is shining a blinding, undeniable light on your professional capabilities and inherent talents. There's a monumental opportunity here for massive advancement, a significant promotion, a high-profile public launch, a dramatic and unforeseen elevation in your status. And the tension you're experiencing is this: to truly claim it, you have to courageously shed your protective shell. You have to boldly step onto the public stage. You have to be seen fully and completely. And I know that feels incredibly vulnerable. I know that feels genuinely terrifying. But here's what I truly want you to hear. Cancer, you are ready. That massive Jupiter energy expanding in your first house isn't just a fleeting burst of confidence. It is raw, inherent power. That is your soul emphatically telling you it's time. The risky leap for you, Cancer, is saying an emphatic yes to a daunting professional challenge, even though it exposes you to potential public critique. It's courageously claiming your authority, even if it means you can no longer comfortably hide in the shadows. It's bravely stepping forward, even when every protective instinct is compelling you to retreat into your shell. And yes, the risk is undeniably real: public exposure, potential criticism, the heavy, unfamiliar weight of leadership. But the reward, Cancer, is a crystallized legacy, the full realization of your true worldly potential. And I genuinely believe, deep down, that you know you are more than capable of this. You simply have to trust yourself enough to courageously do it. If you're a Libra, you're about to make a profound choice between your relationship and your destiny. Libra, this particular transit is inherently complicated for you. You've already been feeling the pressure intensely building, haven't you? The recent full moon in your first house on April 1st undoubtedly forced you to deeply evaluate your personal autonomy versus your ingrained tendency to prioritize other people's needs over your own. And now, just 4 days later, this potent Sun-Jupiter square is making that internal conflict even more intense and unavoidable. The Sun in fiery Aries is fiercely illuminating your 7th house, your house of partnerships, marriages, contracts, and all committed relationships. It's shining a stark, perhaps uncomfortable, light on a specific relationship dynamic right now. Perhaps your partner is being more assertive than usual. Perhaps they are making new demands. Perhaps there's a deeply rooted imbalance that you can no longer afford to ignore. Meanwhile, Jupiter is magnificently expanding your 10th house, your career, your public life, your professional destiny. There is massive, unprecedented growth available to you right now, Libra. Unprecedented opportunities. The kind of abundance and recognition you've been diligently working toward for years. And here's the profound tension. Advancing boldly and unapologetically in your career might directly threaten the established stability of your primary relationship. The comfortable routines you've meticulously built together, the endless compromises you've made, the familiar dynamic that has meticulously kept the peace. I believe what's truly happening is this. You are being unequivocally forced to choose not necessarily between the relationship itself, but between staying small and self-effacing to maintain an artificial harmony or courageously stepping into your inherent power, even if it profoundly disrupts things. Does that resonate clearly with you? The risky leap for you, Libra, is prioritizing your professional expansion and personal truth over the maintenance of a restrictive partnership. It's courageously setting a firm, undeniable boundary, the kind you've always been too diplomatic, too accommodating to set before. It's renegotiating a contract, a fundamental agreement. Or, in some profound cases, it might even mean bravely severing a relational tie that has, for too long, been keeping you small, compliant, and unfulfilled. And I know that sounds inherently scary. I know you value harmony and peace more than almost anything else. But here's what I truly want you to realize. True harmony doesn't necessitate self-erasure. It doesn't mean making yourself smaller, dimming your light, so someone else can feel more comfortable or secure. Real partnership, genuine connection, is fundamentally based on equality, mutual respect, and reciprocal growth, not on endless, self-sacrificing compromise. The risk is immediate relational conflict, perhaps a significant argument, or the uncomfortable reality of disappointing someone you care about. But the reward, Libra, is unparalleled professional growth, public recognition, and ultimately relationships that are deeply based on respect, authenticity, and equality, rather than on compliant suppression. And honestly, I think you already know what you fundamentally need to do. The burning question is whether you will summon the profound courage to actually do it. Here's what nobody's telling you. The universe will immediately test your leap. Okay, so this is the part that I believe is really important, and it's something most astrology content regrettably tends to ignore. Taking this courageous leap on April 5th isn't the grand finale of the story. It's merely the powerful beginning. Because here's what unequivocally happens next. Mars enters Aries on April 9th and immediately begins to move toward a harsh conjunction with Saturn that becomes exact on April 19th. And if you possess even a foundational understanding of astrology, you know precisely what that signifies, a definitive reality check. Mars is the cosmic gas pedal, Saturn is the firm brakes. When these two powerful forces collide, everything you launched under the euphoric, expansive influence of Jupiter gets rigorously stress-tested for its structural integrity and long-term viability. If you acted purely on impulse on April 5th, without any foundational plan, any strategic foresight, you are going to face severe burnout or insurmountable roadblocks by the 19th. That is simply the unvarnished truth of this astrological dynamic. But, and this is absolutely crucial, if you meticulously pair your courage and audacious vision with disciplined, diligent execution, the Mars-Saturn conjunction provides the exact architectural rigor you need to build something enduring and truly lasting. This is precisely why I keep emphasizing that this isn't just about recklessness, it's a strategically calculated risk. The universe generously provides you with the explosive fuel for the launch on April 5th, but it unequivocally demands rigorous discipline and sustained effort by April 19th to maintain that trajectory and ensure its long-term success. And honestly, I think that's what makes this particular period so incredibly powerful, because anyone can act on impulse. But the individuals who truly succeed are the ones who can brilliantly harness the optimism and momentum of the moment, while simultaneously retaining the foresight and commitment to do the hard, consistent work when reality inevitably sets in. Does that comprehensive approach make sense to you? One more thing, the entire playing field is about to dramatically change. I want to leave you with this final, profound thought, because I believe it's going to reframe everything we've discussed. On April 25th, just 3 short weeks after this potent Sun-Jupiter square, Uranus leaves grounded Taurus and enters innovative Gemini. And this, my friends, is absolutely massive. Uranus takes an astounding 84 years to orbit the entire zodiac, spending approximately 7 years in each sign. This is not just a personal shift, this is a once-in-a-lifetime generational paradigm shift. The very pace of societal change is about to accelerate exponentially, reaching unprecedented speeds. The rigid structures, the old rules, the established ways of being that have been holding things in place, they are all about to profoundly dissolve. Communication, technology, information processing, even our fundamental understanding of connection, everything is poised to become faster, more chaotic, and undeniably more unpredictable. And here's why this matters so profoundly. If you courageously take the leap on April 5th, you are strategically positioning yourself perfectly to ride the crest of this massive, impending paradigm shift. You'll already be adapting to the new, rapidly evolving landscape, while everyone else is still trying to figure out what just happened. The people who choose to stay safe and stagnant right now, they're going to get completely swept up in the inevitable chaos when Uranus makes its profound shift, because they simply won't be ready. But you, my friend, if you choose to move now, you'll already be in motion. You'll already be strategically positioned. And that, I assure you, is going to make all the profound difference in the world. So, today, April 5th, isn't just about one isolated decision. It's fundamentally about momentum. It's about boldly claiming your rightful place at the forefront of what is undoubtedly coming. And honestly, I truly believe that is the extraordinary gift this potent energy is offering you. So, what are you going to do with it? I know this is a lot to take in. I know it feels incredibly intense. And perhaps you're sitting there contemplating, okay, but what if I'm wrong? What if I take this monumental leap and it all spectacularly falls apart? And I genuinely get it. I truly do. But here's what I want you to courageously ask yourself instead. What if you don't take the leap? What if you allow this powerful cosmic moment to pass you by because you were too afraid, too cautious, too deeply attached to the perceived safety of what you already intimately know? Because the inherent truth about these cosmic moments, these rare and powerful alignments where everything in the universe is actively pushing you forward, is that they don't wait. The window of opportunity opens, it presents itself, and then, inevitably, it closes. And you're left standing in the exact same place, forever wondering what truly could have been. I've been there myself. I've regrettably let moments like this slip through my fingers, because I convinced myself I needed more time, more certainty, more irrefutable proof that it would unequivocally work out. And every single time, I profoundly regretted it. So today, when you feel that intense pressure building, when you feel that undeniable pull towards something bigger, something more authentic, I want you to trust it implicitly. I want you to honor it deeply, because I genuinely believe this is your soul speaking to you. This is the universe offering you a clear, illuminated pathway to the life you've been dreaming about, perhaps even subconsciously, for so long. And yes, it is undeniably risky. Yes, there will be consequences. Yes, you have to work incredibly hard to sustain what you bravely start. But isn't that infinitely better than staying stuck, stagnant, and unfulfilled? Isn't that better than perpetually playing small? You are being offered a profound chance to step into a new, more expansive version of yourself. A braver version, a more authentic version. The very version that has been patiently waiting for this exact, pivotal moment. So, take the leap and then commit to doing the work. Because that, my friends, is how true, lasting transformation actually happens. All right, if you're still here with me, thank you so much for watching and staying engaged. Seriously, it means a lot that you stayed through all of this intricate explanation. If this profound message resonated deeply with you and you're eager for more content like this, I would truly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps more than you know in growing this community. And please, drop a comment below. I really want to hear from you. Are you one of these 3 significant signs? Are you intensely feeling this pressure building within you? What's the specific leap you're courageously considering? I read every single comment, and I truly believe we're all navigating this transformative journey together. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.